about the policy to get these early wins?
Well, I think some of it involves probably tax incentives. Some of it involves would involve trained workers, knowledge workers. It involves connecting our universities and their ability to do research with companies. Put it to you this way: let's just take the Cleveland Clinic. Take the Cleveland Clinic, Case Western, and University Hospital. We can't put those three things together and sell somebody in biotechnology or a medical device company. You think we can't take some of the agriculture operations that you have in some of your communities and use perhaps some third frontier money to develop 21st century products? I mean, who would have thought that soybeans were going to be used to comb my, well, I don't comb my hair, but if I did, you know, it would be, it's remarkable. So there are things that I think there's multiplicity of things: train people, knowledge workers, research, tax incentives, build an industrial park. You know, you have to have all those options right here on the table.
I think it'd be difficult, except for tax incentives, to really have impact within year one to have jobs.
Well, not if you tell somebody you expand here and we'll, you know, again, I don't want to lay out the whole, you know, I don't want to just be kind of theoretical out here. But you tell somebody if you build a plant expansion, I can tell you right now, American Greetings, they're looking for a tax incentive to stay in Ohio.
Yes,
I know it for a fact.
Yes, they are, yeah.
Okay? And we are not getting to them quickly. We can resolve that problem. They stay. That's a save. We make a big deal about it, right? And maybe we even get them to add a little bit more.
Well, that was a community that raised the tax to go after it, which was kind of a silly mistake.
But I'm told, I mean, I was told, you know, here's the thing. When people tell me things, they tell me things. When you show up with a pad and a pen, they kind of get clammed up, to get real nervous. But the lady told me on Thursday that they have been, the state of Ohio is so far behind in figuring out what they can do to help them. That's what she told me. Now, maybe she'll change her story today, but hopefully not. She said it's not helpful. She said, we may be leaving. I said, can you wait 30 days? She said, well, I'll go back and tell the boss. I can't start to go and I'd be like me. It's like when those old senators used to fly into other countries to negotiate an agreement. You can't do that. I don't have any authority or power to do that. But if I win, it's got to be the top of the list, right? I mean, I got to go to American Greetings and say, what's going on here? What do you need? What can we deliver to you? That's what the way I'm thinking about it.
You made some noises that the third frontier kind of needs shaking up a bit and maybe isn't having the impact it should have. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Well, SRI, which is the group that did the analysis of the third frontiers, actually proposed that there be more entrepreneurial involvement in that operation. Mm-hmm. They themselves said we need to have entrepreneurs more directly involved. I think Third Frontier is a great asset. I supported it. I called for its renewal. But look, we got legislators either on the advisory group or whatever. I think I can find some better people that understand business than.
Yeah, we've had some emails come in saying it's kind of a slush fund and not really getting the return it should for the state of Ohio. I don't know.
Well, you know,
again,
well, it's sort of like, you know, I've heard that too. Do I believe that? I don't believe that. But do I think we can take a good look at it so that we're not wasting money? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And that's the only thing I'm trying to say about it. I think it can be a great asset to us in terms of enticing companies, right? But let's not waste money with it. Let's be careful about it and let's get the best people we can to be involved in it. It's interesting you got those emails. Probably from people that didn't get a Third Frontier grant.
Yeah. Based on your experience in Washington, you sound pretty confident that you can get things done. Can you guarantee a turnaround in Ohio?
Well, if I don't get a turnaround in Ohio, I'll be thrown out.
Well, that's not what I asked you. Can you guarantee it?
Well, if we do the things, if we can enact the things that I'm saying, yes, we will. I will guarantee you a turnaround.
Question for you that all governors are going to face. Obviously, this is kind of a 20,000-foot question, I guess, and that is that the federal government has $13 trillion worth of debt, $4 billion worth of interest today. Obviously, it's continuing to mount, and it's going to put pressure on states to in this last case, obviously, we won't be getting another $8 billion in stimulus, given the fact that the debt is so high. What do you see, what kind of pressures do you see the federal government, given its debt, putting on states? Does that hinder you at all?
Well, I think Obamacare would be a big mistake, because we can't even estimate the extent of what the impact could be. I mean, you read McDonald's says they're going to lay off 30,000 people from health care. Here's a thing that I mentioned to a few of the governors that have been here. We need to get not just Republican governors, but Democrat governors as well, to make a consistent, concerted, and focused effort to get more flexibility for all the programs that we run. I mentioned job training. Listen to this number. We have $150 million in job training funds. $139 million go to people who don't have a job, and a total of $11 million go to people who have a job. So what does that tell us? That tells us it's, you're more likely to get help if you lose your job than if we try to train you to keep. Is that a surprise when you're dealing with Washington? So I think a big key to this is more flexibility, less rules, less regulations, and I think we need to start speaking out about the economic policies that'll get this economy moving. We're out of the recession now. The problem is the growth rate is so anemic. It's what, 1%. But look, I think the 2010 election is so important for the ultimate direction, and so will 2012. And I heard John Boehner on TV last night. Actually, he did an incredible job. He was so good. They're not going to raise these tax rates. I mean, raising taxes on work and investment when we have a 1% growth makes no sense to me. We need flexibility from this. I think we need to repeal but replace Obamacare. I don't know that that gets done between now and 12. But the ability for us to have the flexibility that we need to be able to manage things so we're not sticking a size 6 foot in a size 2 shoe. I got 10-year-olds, that's why we're down that small. Would be really good. And and the governors have been very responsive to me on this. They're like, we don't really know how to get down there and put the pressure on. I'm gonna work aggressively with the Ohio delegation too. It's another thing that I think we have not been able to do effectively. Not getting them all together and saying, look, here's the things we need to focus on. I don't want you just to write a letter. I need you to make phone calls. I need you to be in committee. We've got to really move as a team.
You talked early on about universities as job creators and creating entrepreneurs. One of the most important appointments you will have will be to appoint presumably a new chancellor of the university system. What kind of person are you looking for that job? Are you looking for another politician, or are you looking for an academic?
No, well, those are my only two choices. I
guess those would be the two extremes.
Well, look, I think that the current chancellor has a term that keeps going. I don't want to even weigh in on that at this point. But look, on the boards of trustees, we don't have time for hacks. I don't know anybody anything. If somebody gave me something because they think they're going to get appointed to a board, I'm telling you, they're whistling Dixie. I'm not going to appoint hacks to these cabinet positions. We don't have time for this. I know it sounds like this can't be done, right? But it can be done. We got to get people who have had. We not only need some people with business experience, but the problem is if they have political business experience and know nothing about politics, they'll get killed. So we got to get savvy people that understand business and understand a little bit about politics so they don't get railroaded here. And you've got to have the best and the brightest. I mean, in the Department of Insurance, you've got to have a professional Department of Natural Resources, somebody that understands. I'll tell you about DNR. We should be having somebody at DNR who makes it a big deal to attract and promote the natural resources of Ohio around this country.